goes to bed early because, well, cousin is out there getting on his nerves. And of course, the internet, took it a certain way. They felt like, well, this is him basically alluding to the fact that he doesn't really like her like that, especially following what just transpired between Clay and Bongo too. And so I feel like regarding that, his energy when he was saying that, it really didn't give me somebody who doesn't like someone. I mean, it sort of gave me, partners who do sometimes, argue and, get on each other's nerves, which I feel like it's pretty normal, okay? At least in my own experience, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, that person doesn't like you. I will give you an example. Like my partner and I, we get on each other's nerves every single time, every single day. And I'm sorry, but I still love him. It doesn't mean that I don't. So let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about what the man said. Do you think that it had ill intent? And even how he responded to the question in a following interview when people asked him how that went when Cousin Sloth found out that this is what he said in his prior interview. He still gave the energy that, it's a normal lovers quarrels, type of situation, because his energy truly wasn't off. If anything, he appeared to have enjoyed Glorilla cussing him out, to be honest. It wasn't giving me JT and Lil Uzi at all, okay? It wasn't giving me that. It wasn't even giving me Clay Thompson's disgusted face. Like, he always seemed uninterested. He seemed like, he was being forced into doing things. I remember there's a video where Bongo 2, they were playing some sort of golf or something, and she was trying to toot her behind on him, and it wasn't giving a man, like, I don't know, but it was not giving a man interested, and that's not the vibe that I'm getting from Cousin Sloth and her boyfriend. I mean, I'm not saying that is not cheating, I'm not saying that their relationship is perfect, but I just do feel like that interview might have been taken out of context. Still speaking about relationships and everything that's wrong with dating athletes, let's talk about the theatrics that Bongo 2 has already started. Because tell me why TMZ is out there running an article, a sympathy article about her breaking down, at Broadway. And I was like, okay, this is just becoming a little bit dramatic, okay? This is what TMZ wrote. They said Megan Thee Stallion appeared to fight back tears during a Broadway performance of Moulin Rouge just after revealing her split from Clay Thompson. Now, if this is not just theater at its best, I don't know what is. Okay, it's a good thing she's on Broadway because this is very much giving Shakespeare. I'm sorry. Okay, this is very much giving. I'm sorry because what do you mean now you're crying on stage? How do you think Kelsey felt that time when she found out that it was you? I mean, you're crying, and the alleged person to do it to you is not even a friend. Now, imagine how Kelsey felt. It's just said that Kelsey didn't have a theater stage to cry on, but it's not fair. And honestly, this is the concept that I will never understand with the people that whenever you bring up what she has also done to others, you guys always have excuses for her. But when it comes to her, of course, the world has to come to a halt because she cannot be done wrong, because what's good for the goose is not good for the gander when it comes to her. So I really don't understand that concept, and TMZ knows exactly what they're doing with that article. Once again, framing her to be victim, because why were you out there not covering how Kelsey felt when this woman was out there revealing that she laid down with her best friend's man? We didn't see that. Somebody give Kelsey some job, some work to do on Broadway so that she can start crying as well. Maybe she will also get sympathy and coverage. Speaking of which, I saw that her fans were already harassing a girl, an athlete, because allegations are coming out that the girl is the one who actually laid down with Clay whilst Clay was still with Megan. And her fans are already coming for this girl to an extent that she actually had to put out a statement. Apparently, her name is Lexi. Beautiful girl, I have to say. And this is what she said. She said, I've seen what's being said online, and I want to be clear. None of this is true, and I have no involvement in this situation. This week marks the start of an important and exciting new season for me, and my focus is fully on that. And the fans are not hearing it, okay? Now they're blaming her for speaking up. They're like, oh, well, if it's a lie, then just keep quiet. Keep quiet when you guys are even coming for her skills in as far as her career is concerned. If she keeps quiet, you guys start saying that it's true. If she speaks now, it's not true. Like, what do you want this girl to do, really, truly? But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about this entire scandal and debacle. Do you feel bad for Bongo 2 crying on stage amidst the performance? And could this be the reason why, remember with that drama with Lauren LaRosa? When she was allegedly dragged away from stage, and they say that, well, it is lack of rest. Could it be that she was restless because of the situation that had happened, so maybe she was not able to properly sleep, properly relax and stuff? Because I mean, when someone cheats on you, to be honest, it brings a certain level of restlessness that you won't be able to even do anything. So I mean, I've seen it happening to Advolvo Bibi. You just crash out on any and everyone, and you project all you have on any other person that you see happy. Speaking about projection, let's talk about this rumor that's suddenly just circulating on the internet. Now, I don't understand the obsession that when one female rapper is broke, all of a sudden they turn around and try to make headlines about Nicki being the one who's actually broke. When a person gets cheated on by their baby daddy or by their husband, they turn around and make it seem like actually it's Nicki Minaj who's getting cheated on. When someone is getting a divorce from their partner or they're breaking up with their partner, all of a sudden we are seeing headlines about Nicki Minaj. And you guys play into it the whole time. Like it shocks me when I see Babs playing into these narratives each and every single time. Someone was allegedly, playing at the casino with, someone's money and probably taking from someone's credit cards. And that very person turned around and said Kenneth was doing that to Nicki Minaj. So at this point, really, truly, you Babs should know better. I feel like somewhere somehow there is a group chat that's like, okay, this is happening to someone we support and we love. Why don't we create headlines about this? Babs are still going to eat it up. Let's deflect. Because her announcing that about Clay, I don't think that this is the reaction that she expected. She expected people to sympathize with her. It didn't work like that. It didn't, people didn't receive it like that, and she was getting a lot of backlash. And in order to take it off, off of herself, I wouldn't really be shocked if there was a conversation somewhere where they said, okay, let's deflect and let's start talking about Nicki Minaj and her marriage, because where did that even come from? It surely is not a bab. I did see the bab circulating it, but where did that rumor originate from? When you actually dig deeper, you'll realize that it's some unknown source that started that rumor, and somehow Nicki fans ate it up. For what? She, decided to come with the stories online, decided to blast that man, didn't get the reaction she wanted, and now you guys are willing to use Nicki Minaj as a deflection for her. For what? But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Now, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Doja Cat. Doja Cat, I feel like I don't know what's going on with her really. Because not only was she out there name dropping Nicki Minaj unprovoked, but she also decided to, mock Eminem, of all people, Eminem. I'm not sure if no one ever told her that there are some people that you just don't mess with, okay? You can do your foolery and they will keep it cute, but Eminem is not one of them, okay? Why do you think they get along very well with 50 Cent? Okay, those men don't play. Okay, go find somewhere else to take your weirdness and stuff like that, because when that man decides to come for you, I mean, he even came for his own mother. And Matt Lamini, there you are with your bald head, thinking that he's going to spare you. Doja, find something to play with, okay? Play with your kitties and your kittens, feed them some music or something. Eminem is not the one nor the two. Somebody needs to tell that girl, okay? I will not be here trying to defend you if he comes for you and your entire generation. And your father, Dumisani, was out there minding his own Sarafina business in South Africa. Like, don't do it. Okay. Anyway, that being said, let us move on to Mama Tina Knowles. I wanted to talk about this, a couple of days ago. I don't know how I forgot, but Solange posted pictures of herself with, her hair shaved. The art that she does. Solange has got her own type of vibe and fashion sense and spirituality and friendships. I think I do kind of understand why she gets along with Jatavia so much. I feel like they're a little bit different, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But that being said, after she posted picture of her, shaved head, Tina Knowles decided to come in there, and she volunteered information that we had no business knowing. Every caption of Tina Knowles sounds like someone who's clapping back at something. Like, at this point, I don't understand. It feels like she's always in defense mode. She cannot even just post her children, say, you guys are gorgeous, you're talented, you're this. She has to always volunteer some extra unwarranted information that is irrelevant to the conversation at hand. Because tell me now why we know where Solange was conceived. At my age, why am I knowing about something that probably transpired before I was even, an idea, before my mom even thought about having me? Why am I knowing this information about where you guys were laying down when you had Solange? It seems like the fans are calling her out for it, because it's always weird. It seems like she's always trying to prove a point by every caption, every comment. You cannot just hype your children the normal way. It has to be about intimate information that we didn't ask. Why do we care about things that you did with Matthew in your inner chambers? For what? If you know me, you know I don't like conversations about the inner chambers, because let me tell you why. When I grew up, each time people would kiss on the TV, it's either my mom would switch off the TV or you would just know, okay? We would all get up. That meme is not actually a meme. That truly happened in a lot of African households, okay? Whenever you see some kissing action on TV, no one tells you what to do. If, your mom is far from the remote or the remote is far from everyone, it's your cue to stand up, pretend to go and drink some water in the kitchen, and then come back after the scene is done. So what makes you think that someone like me would want to know what's transpired in the inner chambers of some people as old as you? That is an abomination. Of course, I'm exaggerating. But anyway, this is the caption that Tina Knowles wrote. She said, you look like a beautiful Egyptian goddess, Solange. which is very appropriate since you were conceived on a cruise sailing down the Nile in Egypt. Now we know that Matthew swimmers swam into her when they were swimming across the Nile River in Egypt. I don't know. I don't need to know that information about Beyonce's mother. I'm sorry. And then she said, I always said you should shave your head and wear a garbage bag. And you could shave your head, I'm sorry, and wear a garbage bag and still look gorgeous. Well, you turn everything into art. I love your boldness. Okay, I love the last part of that message. The only part that I'm like, okay, ma'am, this something. Amen. And she frames it like it's always iconic. That's the other thing. I understand. You gave birth to an iconic daughter, okay? Very talented daughter. But not everything about, everything has to be iconic, okay? Like stories about conception. And people are not feeling it. But let me know in the comment section how you feel about this conception story that we have been heard, that we have been told by Miss Tina Knowles. Are you guys happy to know how Solange was conceived? Where, when, what happened, when Matthew, like, ugh, ew. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Kelly Rowland. Still talking about the Knowles and everybody that surrounds them. Kelly is becoming a weirdo. And to live through your entire life with so much respect only to lose it in the later years of your life is really sad. It's very sad because she's just being corny all around these days, and it's sad to watch because the people that she's being corny for protect their own images. You will never catch them coming blatantly looking obsessed with female rap or trying to clap back blatantly. You will never see them doing that, but she's out there volunteering that. Solange that we were just talking about does not even swing like for Jay-Z or Beyonce the way that Kelly does, especially when it comes to industry stories and situations. Now, all of a sudden, Kelly Rowland has got an obsession with female rap since Nicki Minaj started calling out the title swindler. And it's almost like she's trying to prove to them that she's loyal to them. And it's sad, because Solange doesn't have to do all of that. She's out there overly doing it because what do you mean you cried when you saw Doechii, Kelly? What do you mean? And what business do we have knowing that you cried when you saw Doechii? What exactly about Doechii made you cry? That she did the cornrows tied to each other when she was performing a Tiny Desk? That she's the dark version of Nicki Minaj trying to sound like her? That her streams were botted? What made you cry about her? Huh? Really? See, I cried when I saw Doechii. Kelly. It's sad to see you as someone we grew up looking at, watching, loving, adoring, even feeling bad for the way your career went. Don't reduce your legacy to try and defend a man that won't even defend himself publicly like that. Why are you doing that? His own wife doesn't even do that. Solange doesn't even do that. It's only you and Mama Tina who are out there doing the most. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. Let me go.